Welcome, adventurers, back to episode 6 of Lot Spell, brought to you by me, the Rambling Bard, and joined by these four lovely players right here. Last session, when we left off, after the party had returned to Saren's Gate and received their reward for rendering aid to the farmers and destroying a wight and a couple of zombies. They also discovered a spell that had been laid down by their knowledge, by an incubus, to their knowledge, I should say, by an incubus who cursed the farmland and named it as an experiment. And they discovered that the means of this curse was, or the purpose of this curse was to drain the life force of anybody who was to spend enough time on this land. They brought it to a wizard, an official gilded wizard, and had him examine the remains of the spell circle that they found, who confirmed their suspicions. And that wizard reported the spell, although the party did not share with the wizard what the caster was. It was revealed in the meanwhile that the caster had his suspicions of his own. And so the mage contacted the Mages Guild to let them know there was a possible abyssal incursion, and that this particular abyssal is wreaking havoc with experimental dark magic. Sir Bremen nears the new moon. We're about 3 nights away from the new moon, and he knows, based on his notes, to perform his alchemy correctly, to keep it vague, that he needs to begin his brewing process on the first night of the new moon. It will take all 3 nights. And he is currently essentially caught trying to decide what to do with his timing. He has a lot of options. And I think that's where we'll open.
Okay.
So you're walking away from the mages. We'll pick up right where we left off. You're walking away from the mage's hut. Have reconvened with Ophio and Bliss.
All right. Well, we'll start off. I'm going to look over at Ophio and ask our little friend giving us any trouble.
No.
It's
Have
been
you got
remarkably
what you've been
quiet.
searching for?
Mostly. There's 1 or 2 things I need to see to in this town. At the very least, I need to write home to my brother. But it may behoove us to speed that thing on to Lair Sindal. While unfortunately, I won't be able to join you right away. I've got a few things I have to see to in town here. The whole reason I even came to this town in the first place.
So you won't be joining us on the journey?
Not right away. I will be able to catch up. Will this be a problem?
No. Do what you have to.
I will need the cart. Again, business that I came here for.
Is there anything you'd like help with?
Not at all. I'm sure I can make my way easily enough. Thank you, though.
Arlene pipes up and says, I mean, I'm in this deep. I might as well help you now.
Bliss,
Say that again, dude.
Arlene, curiously.
Yeah, you're a little quiet.
I'm in this deep. I might as well continue helping you because I still have the stuff on me.
Arlene is indeed still in possession of your alchemy tools. They're in her bag.
Yes, you could just throw those in the cart. Gently, of course, but I'm sure I'll be able to hunt down a couple of recipes to start turning a profit on those things.
What exactly is your business here? How long will it take?
Probably about 3 or 5 days, I'm afraid.
And how long to get... Where are we going? What's the plan here? Because there's a lot of things happening.
I
we're
intended
gonna deal-
to go to the cenotaph myself and
Right.
beforehand speak with Saren.
I feel Larasindal should be a priority, but that is a month away.
By road and by foot. So at most, a month away. At least 2 weeks away if you were to go straight through the woods. I don't know if you all caught that when I had written it earlier in Discord, but just in case that got missed.
And then by road, by horse, 3 weeks.
Correct.
Well, I suppose 5 days behind isn't so bad if it's going to take a whole month.
My thoughts exactly.
I mean, either way, I'd like to see all of this through, if we can, including this crazy mage piss wizard business. I don't know. It's bad.
It is indeed, and we have been promised a reward for bringing him to justice.
Well, maybe we can do some research in Larasindal.
I do believe so, which is part of the reason why I insist on heading there as quickly as possible.
Right, okay. That sounds like a plan.
And a plan I will see through. I'll catch up with you on the road.
It just leaves Arlene, I suppose. Are you insisting on sticking with Sir Bremen, or will you be joining Ophio and Bliss?
Bremen, or rather, Andrew, did we agree on if Arlene would ask questions?
About what?
Just like what you needed the alchemy supplies for.
Yeah, and I came up with a very convincing lie. I told you that I had a book of alchemy recipes that I wanted to try out and start selling them.
Right. Okay. Damn it.
I've got lies
are-
planned for days.
Yep. You are more than welcome to make an insight check. Ian, as Arlene, I should say. And Bremen, given that, go ahead and give us a deception check.
Son of a bitch.
When you're outright saying out loud in game to the DM, I've got lies for days. Okay.
And I do! Alright,
8 for insight.
and a 16 on my deception.
Sure.
Oh,
Sounds
Man,
believable.
I naturally don't believe Sir Bremen.
Yeah, go for an insight.
yay, PvP.
I almost want to give Ophio advantage on that insight, actually.
What, just
Do
an
it.
inherent ability to see through my bullshit?
Actually, yeah.
Yeah, well, yes, but in this particular instance, because she understands heraldry and knights better than anybody else in the party, probably. Yeah, Ophio, you can make that insight check with advantage.
That's a 24.
Why the
Oh,
fuck?
man.
Yeah.
22.
And you just immediately, why the fuck would a knight need to sell potions?
No, I automatic like that's my first thought. I was like, why are you selling potions, you dumb bitch? So that was my first thought.
I take it Ophio doesn't actually say anything, though?
No, she's actually waiting for them to just kind of decide where everybody's going first.
Gotcha.
Arlene tells Bremen or rather, she communicates to all of them. She says, I mean, just don't go selling everything before you meet back up with me. You meet back up with us.
Very well.
I'll go spending all that gold before Arlene gets her cut.
For real.
And she needs her cut, so...
Yes, she does. But you don't know that.
No, I don't.
All right. So, Bremen, you get... you basically have the option of staying in one of two taverns or camping somewhere outside of Syndicate, essentially, to set up your brewing. So we'll start with you, and then we'll move on to the other chunk of the party, and I get to do the fun DM thing of jumping back and forth between the split party. But that's okay. We'll make it work. I'm going to do my best not to keep anybody waiting too long.
Before we go, Ophio would pull him aside.
Okay.
All right.
Are you in trouble?
What manner of trouble would I be in that I couldn't handle?
That's a lie. Now answer the question.
You don't get this far out from your home without getting into a little trouble.
You still have yet to answer my question.
It's nothing I can't handle, but yes.
Then why would you tell all of us to go ahead if it's nothing you can't handle?
Because I have every expectation of concluding my business and being able to join up with you again.
Bremen, I don't believe you.
I'm used to that.
Bremen, if you can't provide me with honesty, I cannot trust that you'll be able to protect us.
A man of station in these times has secrets to keep. As does someone of your rank. I don't go asking your business.
I have no secrets from my friends.
Damn, how do I get out of this?
It's a good question, my friend.
You don't.
You can cut the tension with a knife, though. I love it.
God, right?
Some evasive honesty? I don't know.
I mean,
As
if
the
I
bard.
roll,
I love it.
I mean, if I roll, she's just going to beat me.
Literally or metaphorically, probably. I'm a druid. My insight is pretty nice.
I know.
It's true.
And you roll like a beast.
I do. Most of the time.
Metaphorically and literally.
If this is something... well, no. Never mind. Scratch that thought.
All right, hang on. I think I got one here.
It's that moment where you're sitting there staring at the conversation choice wheel on a BioWare game. Or a BioWare game.
Hardcore.
Yes.
Glass 'em! Glass 'em!
Glass 'em! This should be an option in every conversation at every interval. Glass 'em!
Meanwhile, Bliss is like showing Ali the the Ballad she bought and practicing a really rude song.
The best kind.
I once had a lass with a great big ass, tumble all around with me, hey, nani.
Yep, something like that.
Arlene is doing something appropriate for the ditty, like clapping or something. I don't know.
Gathering just a
Try to earn
small
somewhat.
crowd of like, there's a couple of kids that'll come over, like the older kids that enjoy bathroom humor, so they're like clapping and giggling and laughing at just stupid puns. One of their parents walks by and like sees the kids playing around. There's a group of like 4 or 5 of them, a couple humans. One of them's probably an elf, half elf. You're not sure. But the parent walks by, human, just chips in a couple of silver, like just at the ground at your feet.
Nice.
Meanwhile, I'm over here squirming.
Pretty much. Ophile's giving you the grandma look, and you're like,
All right. Look, take her by the arm and kind of pull her away from the rest a little further.
She'll pull back her arm.
we're far enough. Just talk.
Look, I made a deal with somebody that I don't particularly trust, all right?
And this is helping you how?
It's an obligation that I swore that I would keep.
What
A
was this
knight
deal?
does not break his word.
That is a lie. Next. What is this deal?
I'm going to give you about 30 seconds. Otherwise, she's just going to take your silence as... I don't know how she would interpret it, but I can't see Ophile dealing with it for too long.
But considering the last time someone did this to her, she killed them.
She smacked the ever-living shit out of him, yeah.
He has something I need.
What is it?
It's an artifact. It's something that I've been looking for a couple of months now.
What is the artifact?
It's a crown.
Why would you need a crown?
Well, I figure with a nice cape, I might make a bid at royalty eventually, but
That is another lie.
yes, but that one was supposed to be funny.
She looks at you like I've been dead for like 1,000 years.
As long as you've been, for as long as you've been dead, I figure a good laugh would be worth a lot right now.
I'm not laughing, Bremen.
God, you're really gonna pin him to the wall on this.
Did you really think she wasn't?
I didn't think she was gonna do it now.
You're
are
being
welcome.
shifty.
Yeah.
Oh, come on, you had no problem with that. Never mind.
Which part?
The other shifty guy.
Oh, she had plenty of problems with him.
Oh no, she did. She did. She had
Yeah.
a problem with him.
There's a reason he was
But
at
guess
arm's
what?
length at all times.
Mm-hmm. Uh-oh.
So Bremen's visibly sweating at this point.
All right, lie time. I need this artifact in order to inherit my family hall. And I am going to make a deception roll on that one.
All right.
Okay.
17.
Nice. Standard insight roll. That sounds like something a heraldic knight would probably do. Some weird
it
custom
does.
that's developed over the
I mean,
years,
It sounds. No, I mean, I've heard of stuff like that.
Sure. It's plausible, at least.
It's more plausible than his other weird.
Than a potion selling venture?
Yeah, I don't feel like. Oh, what's my insight?
You
19.
gotta get on that grift, yo.
God damn it!
So, you...
She narrows her eyes at you.
Yeah. You hear the, I need this artifact, and that rings true, and the rest of it's bullshit.
Yeah, he's being
You hear the
shifty.
need.
Okay. Well. Again, if I cannot trust you in what you say, I cannot trust you to protect us on our mission. I cannot trust you to get the job done. But I won't pry any further. Know that you've lost my trust. You're going to have to work to earn it back. I shall see you on the road, I suppose. I hope your business goes well. But if you were honest, I would have helped you.
I suppose I deserve that.
And more. At this point, you've made your bed. Now lie in it. And she's gonna collect her friends.
Bliss, Arlene, you've
Mama
earned
duck
20
everybody.
silver and 3 copper.
Oh, wow.
For
Nice.
babysitting with a couple of songs while this went down. And Sir Bremen, you're left standing
I
alone.
have earned
kinda out in the
Ophio's
square.
wrath.
Yep. You got dressed down by Grandma.
Honestly, it's probably best if they don't trust me anyway, but...
So, Ophio, Arlene, and Bliss. What is your plan? A month? 3 weeks? Or 2 weeks?
I believe you were taking the month route.
All right.
We don't have horses still, do we?
Correct. They
Did-
were returned
yeah,
to
we
the livery
didn't-
upon
yeah.
coming back.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think we were just footing it.
Now, there are horses to buy in the town if anybody has the funds to go looking for them. I actually don't know off the top of my head how much a horse costs, but
I can
a
find out.
lot.
yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot. It'd
Services.
be probably cheaper to do rations and make the trek.
Yeah.
Yeah, interestingly enough, they don't have like how much to buy a horse just on the DM screen anymore. Everything else that's like quick to reference, but no, okay. So pretty much, you get loaded up with supplies to make this trip over the course of a month. The reason the roads take as long is because I'll just kind of have to do this as a physical display. I don't really have a physical display, actually. Where's my map?
A draft horse is going to be about 50 gold, a riding horse will be 75 gold, and a war horse is 400.
Holy God.
Well,
yeah,
there you
we
go.
don't have the funds.
I'd rather not spend a third of what I have right now to simply have a horse.
So, pretty much, to get to Larasindal, you have to go northeast and then north. That's the way that the road goes. It's kind of an L-shaped path. To go, there's the 2-week path across the diagonal is just straight through the woods, pretty much. But you'll come very, very close, or you'll come to a crossroads, pretty much in the dead center of the woods, and then head north. And it takes about a month because this This forest is about the size of Texas. I think I've said before. It's just massive.
Heck.
Square miles. And as you make your way out the northeastern gate, out of Saren's Gate, it is just the air around you is filled with the smell of apples. It is even more rich and intense as you step out of the city, where there's the smell of horses and trash and cooking food and hundreds more people. But you step out into the woods, and it's as the gates close behind you. And they're real simple gates, just very simple wooden gates. The walls around the city don't even have, like, they're not palisades, they're not tall. It's about a 4-foot wall around the city that's more for marking where the city stands than anything else. And as the gate closes behind you and the sounds of the city are kind of muffled behind it, and you make your first 30-minute trek out into the woods, it gets incredibly quiet by comparison. This bustling marketplace that had been there in the middle of Saren's Gate was just all of the noise from sunup to sundown and well into the night, especially with how loud the taverns would get. But now you find yourself just in kind of the blissful quiet of nature, and nobody around you for as far as the eye can see, walking through this tunnel of trees lit by not the strongest light in the world. It's still overcast and too cold for this early in autumn. And now we get to do a few things, because we're going to make these days progress. Don't want to spend a whole lot of time dwelling on them. He says as he rolls a 96 on the percentile die.
Uh-oh.
All right, hang on.
Oh boy.
Notes,
That's exciting.
Yeah, it is. Because I don't know what's going to happen now.
We're adrift. That's it.
All right, so my producer, Sarah, gives me extras for D&D stuff all the time. And this is an extra that I had ready for use. And it's a deck made by, this is not a paid advertisement, this was just a gift, so looks like made by Philip Reed. I don't know if that's with a particular game company, but it's called Outdoor Encounter Cards. There's 36 card deck of inspiration for GMs. It's just kind of a neat, I like using these things, yeah. So this isn't going to work because this doesn't fit, and that often happens with these random things. But for instance, the first one I pulled is Giant Attack. And no, we are not. We don't have to deal with a giant. Only a few hours out of Saren's Gate. The
Well,
96, yeah, 96 percentile though. I need everybody to make. I probably won't even use that exact thing, but it gives me the idea for what this is. I need everybody to make perception checks, please.
Except for me.
Except for Sir Bremen, indeed. We'll return to you shortly, sir.
I got a 12.
Okay.
I got a 7.
Nice.
I'm just
Where were those rolls when I needed them?
You're still mad at Bremen, so you're not paying attention to much. Just kind of fuming.
I
I'm
got a
not for you,
5.
but I'm just like distracted.
You got a 5, you said?
Yeah.
Okay, so Trix, you are the one that senses it. As a matter of fact, you smell it. It smells distinct. All of a sudden, it cuts through for you. It's like you catch a whiff of it and then it's gone. But cutting through the rich earth and apple smell, it's all of a sudden like you're standing next to like a bin, like a dumpster. A just overwhelming smell of trash hits your nostrils out of nowhere. And then it's kind of masked by the apples again.
Bliss makes a sort of noise and stops walking and is intently looking about.
All right. You hear, as you're looking around, you hear the slightest shuffling in the leaves. Everybody does. So Trix suddenly comes to a stop and starts looking around. And as she does, you all hear shuffling in, like, the undergrowth off to your left. It's probably a good 30 feet away from the path. You passed a small contingent of elf guards about an hour ago, and you left Saren's Gate about 6 hours ago. It's about mid-afternoon now.
Has Arlene had time to attune to her knife?
Yes, absolutely.
Awesome.
Does making it your packed weapon involve, because I haven't read up on that recently, does that involve like a ritual that takes time?
Yes.
Okay.
It takes an hour. It can be done during a short rest.
Excellent. All right. I'm more than willing to say that you had time to do that in gathering provisions before you headed out. And I will say that provisions are like silver and copper, so negligible, essentially, for your trip. You earned it babysitting kids with your songs. So you don't really have to worry about losing gold or anything for simple trail rations to get you to Larasindal.
Sweet.
But yeah, you can go ahead and have made that your packed weapon during the short rest, I'll say, happened before you went out on the road. That's more than fair.
Hell yeah.
So yes, shuffling in the undergrowth about 30 feet to your left. What do you all do?
Bliss is
Reflexively cast Shillelagh.
good idea. Yes. How tall are the trees here?
Here they probably top out at about 30 feet, maybe 40.
Okay.
Big for apple trees, but it's primarily apple trees around here. It's getting more and more wild, so as you get away from the road, or as you get further away from Saren's Gate, I should say, you see a lot more in the way of other deciduous trees like oak, and you won't start seeing the pines and the evergreens until you start on the northern path, and then you'll start seeing more of those.
All right. So there's not like an obscuring or blocking canopy.
Not really. I mean, I would say it's obscuring, but it's not so thick that you're not catching little glimpses of the cloudy sky every now and then. It's not total darkness just yet. From what you understand and what you've heard about Saren's Wood, that's just a little bit deeper, maybe another day or so, and that's when it'll be like, oh, we can't see the sky during the day.
Yeah. Okay. Bliss is going to send Izen up into the trees, and she herself is going to fly up about 15 feet
Okay.
and sort of kind of stay there with her crossbow out.
All right. Yeah, you watch that same kind of area where the leaves were, and you don't see any more movement there. There's this kind of tepid, stagnant pond just beyond where the rustling of the leaves had been, and the waters are still, but you don't see really anything else of note. You can go ahead and actually make perception checks, both you and Izen.
I don't have stats for him.
Oh, I'll do that.
I got a natural 20.
Holy shit! Okay, let's see what a pseudo-dragon has. I don't think they have a ton. Let me look at where pseudo-dragon is. It is 254. A few pages away. His perception, his passive is a 13, so he's a +3 if you want to roll for him.
That is an 18 for him.
Damn. All right. So you both see it as it kind of slithers quickly underneath the leaves around the edge of this pond. What looked like just a really big crinkled leaf, kind of folded in half. But as it moves, 3 eyes open up along it and blink at you, and it sinks beneath the leaves.
That's freaky. Is something in the leaves. I don't know what the fuck that is, but keep an eye on the ground.
Izin lands on your shoulders and hides in your hair and says something to the effect of, stay away from the pond. Like,
It's come
I guess
from
it
the
doesn't
pond,
really
I
say,
think.
so it just says,
Yeah.
it gives you that feeling of like the pond's gross. And as you're looking at it, kind of, if you're getting closer at all, even a little bit, you do notice, all of you now, that there is this sickly garbage smell that seems to be coming from the pond.
It's the trashy.
Well,
Arlene is gonna put on the mask. And
Okay.
turn
It's go
invisible.
time.
Arlene goes invisible.
And she walks towards the pond.
All right.
Okay.
Are you doing this stealthily? I assume so.
Yeah.
Go ahead and roll with advantage since you are indeed invisible.
So 13 or 14 plus stealth 2. 16 total.
Okay. Let's just say it's a good thing that this thing has disadvantage on perceiving it. Because the first roll was a natural 20. Yeah, I was like, but no, you creep to the edge of this pond, and only somebody with the sharpest of eyes right now. The party members welcome to make disadvantage perception checks to see the leaves moving, but would notice the leaves shifting subtly beneath your invisible feet. Once you get to the edge of the pond, I need you to make a perception check with advantage because you have lots of time to sit there and stare. Change your angle to make sure you can kind of see beneath the glare of it.
Yeah, it's a good thing it's an advantage because that was a natural 1.
Whew.
Oh, that's not much better. Hold on, where's perception? There it is. 6 total.
All you can tell is it looks like there's a big flesh-colored boulder down there.
Huh.
No
In the pond?
thanks.
Yeah, in the pond. It's maybe 10 feet deep. Remarkably clear for having the kind of scummy surface like it has. Like once you get to a spot where you can see past the surface scum, the water itself is pretty clear.
Can I smell the yuck?
Oh yeah, super strong right here.
Cool. Glad to know. I don't know what she would do. Like this is like I think she would just stand up straight after just like sneaking through the brush and then
Okay.
cock her head, although nobody sees it. And then I think she'd head back before becoming visible again.
Okay. Make another stealth check as you walk away from the pond. Also with advantage.
Ooh, it's a natural 20.
Very nice. Well, he definitely
Thank
didn't definitely did not roll a natural 20. So yeah, you walk away from the pond uneventfully.
Ooh.
Yeah. You still
Cool.
get that pervasive, all three of you get that pervasive sense of something is watching you, and that smell just will not leave your nostrils now.
I drop invisibility and then telephile. Looks like there's a flesh-colored rock at the bottom of the pond. It's a very gross
she
pond.
gives you a look.
She puts up her arms and says, "Hey, man."
At the bottom of the pond. All right. I pick up a
Isn't
rock
says-
and I'm gonna throw it in the pond.
Oh God.
We're like,
This said the
how
pond
far
is bad.
About 30
how
feet away.
far
That's an
away
easy.
are?
That's
Yeah,
an
okay.
easy lob. Yeah. You don't
I
even have to roll a
skip a-
hit. It's such a big. Do you skip a rock across it or just toss it in?
I'm gonna skip a rock.
Okay. Yeah. Boop, 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 boop. Go ahead and roll a what do you call it? A fucking range attack, I suppose. It's not a big pond. It's probably only about 30
Range
feet
attack
across.
with an improvised weapon.
Yeah.
Does a 15 hit a pond?
Oh,
I don't
absolutely.
know what I add.
Roll 1d4.
Okay. Man. Doing damage to a pond. 1.
You get 1 skip. Bloop, bloop.
Don't get near it. This isn't great. I feel like
I think
I
we
just
should
want to
just walk around.
thunder wave the whole damn thing.
So the three of you decide to move on? Let the sticky
Yeah.
pond lie?
Yep.
Alright.
Arlene
This is
shrugs
worse,
and
but
starts
it's
walking.
not
We
our
ignore it.
present matter.
Sure.
Completely.
Great. Alright. Fantastic. That's always an option. Okay, so you keep walking, and Ophio, roll a nature check as you're bedding down to camp for the night.
11 plus something. Nope, just 11.
Okay, wait a minute. Are we saying that the druid is not proficient in nature?
And no one in this magic campaign has proficiency in Arcana.
Nope. I wasn't always a druid. I wasn't trained in nature. I was trained in I can do battlefield medicine. I can do things like that, but nature is there wasn't a lot of nature because everything was like dead. So
Y'all, we dumb as fuck.
We are.
not really dumb, just not
We're
really
specialized.
familiar. Not really familiar with this particular world. Just,
Yeah.
out of time. I don't know what's going on at the time, so
I think my mic stopped working on me in the middle of that because I've been
Oh,
saying
no!
stuff and it just wasn't working. But yeah, so with that nature check, sorry, you kind of, that's enough for you to realize as you're kind of bedding down for the night, like, wait a minute, I think I know what that probably was. Because, like, Bliss will mention, I saw a thing that had eyes, and it stunk really bad, and it hits you. It was probably an Autugia, or Autug, however that's pronounced. It's one of the tripedal
I know what it is.
thing, yeah, the monster eaters. And that's more than likely you just dodged one of its traps. They tend to sleep during the day, and they usually are deeper in places, but a stagnant pond is pretty fitting place for one of them. So if we were doing experience and not milestone, this would be the point where I'd be like, you get experience because you survived that encounter. So good. Even though nothing happened, good job. And with that, I'll cut to Sir Bremen. So you watch as the party walks away from you. Walks out the gate shut behind him, and you're left standing in a square.
And feeling like a heel.
A little bit.
Yeah. Look, it's probably better you people don't know anyway. I'm doing the right thing. Why can't anybody... Damn it. Alright, first things first, I need to go rent another horse.
All right. So renting a horse, you said you looked it up. Do you remember the price off the top of your head?
Well,
Is this for-
buying...
Not for the courier thing, right?
Yeah, no.
Okay.
Yeah, that comes later.
Okay, I'm just making sure.
But as far as buying outright, a draft horse is $50. 50 gold. A riding horse is 75 gold, and a war horse is 400 gold.
So renting, you're looking 5 a week.
Okay. Can I try to haggle them down any?
The liveries are actually pretty stern on it. They tell you that basically, as long as you stay within the Elven Kingdom, you can return it to the same livery. Like it's a guild livery kind of thing. So Larasindal would be able to refund you half of that upon arriving at the new place. They send you with a little chit that's actually customized. It's like a little wood-carved chit that says the day that you took the horse and the horse number and all of that. And then when you turn it back in, you're refunded the gold that you put up front. And basically, it's like if you're planning on having a horse for a month, that's a cool 20 gold easy, and it kind of covers how much mileage and how much work you might put the horse through, and in the event that the horse dies, they're at least going to recoup a little bit of it. It's that kind of thing. But they assure you that you'll be getting at least half of it back when you return the horse.
All right.
It's to a standard livery.
Okay, so that's going to be, 4 weeks at least, so probably about 20 gold?
Yep. And there's no
All
extra
right.
taxes or anything like that on it, so.
All right, I guess I'll pay it.
All right. Now, there are plenty of shops and carts and stands to shop around at and haggle at, but yeah, ones that are guild operated, like a livery or like a guild blacksmith, they're going to have fairly set prices that they're not going to be able to work with unless you're at a guild headquarters somewhere or have some sort of guild renown.
And because I'm a noble, they can get a little more out of me anyway.
That's right.
Damn this Weldon station!
So your next, I'm just reminded of Robert California's line from The Office. The 1% are suffering too, people. So your next thing would be finding somewhere to set up?
No.
No?
I am still...
you have
no.
places to go.
I've actually got this kind of planned out. I'm actually going to go ahead and buy 4 barrels of cider.
All right. Let's see. If a gallon of ale is 2 silver pieces, then I feel like a keg should be at least 2 gold. Does that feel fair? They don't have kegs listed here.
Well, they have barrels, so...
They have gallon and mug. I don't see barrel of drink. They have wine, common, and a common pitcher or fine bottle. But I don't see any barrels listed in the PHB, unless it's DMG and I'm just looking at the wrong
So a
place.
barrel has 40 gallons of liquid.
So 40 times 2 silver pieces, 20 gold? Right?
Another 20 gold for a barrel,
For each? Yep. He did only say 1 barrel, I think.
He did, but I'm going for overkill here.
True.
So 20 gold for a barrel. I think I need to be able to haggle on that. I really do.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. This isn't a guild thing, so that's base price. So to haggle, you...
Persuasion, or...
yeah, I would say persuasion's probably your best bet.
Yeah, it's about one of the few things I'm proficient in.
Hold on 1 second. You said 2 silver per gallon?
Per gallon, and he said there was 40 gallons in a barrel.
So 2 times 40 is 80.
Right. Oh, no, I didn't.
Converting silver to gold would be 8 gold.
8 gold. Math.
Oh, thank God, this isn't going to wipe me out.
Yeah. That's, so it would be 8 times 4, so 32. Yeah. IR Bard. I'm math bad.
And I'm a noble. I have someone to do this for me.
So yeah, you. What was your persuasion roll?
About to roll it now.
Let's see what their insight is. Not great.
Balls. That's only a 7.
Well, their insight was actually lower.
Holy crap!
They rolled a 6, like legit. So they'll knock it down to 5 gold per kick. And this is, I assume, you went to. Did y'all meet Karek at that inn, the Dragon Den Inn? Okay, yeah. So I assume you went back to Karek. Sorry, I've run this town a few times.
Yeah, I mean, I tried his stuff, and he has some pretty good stuff on hand. So yeah, I would go back to Karek.
All right, cool. Yeah, you are easily set up with 4 barrels, 4 little mini kegs, basically, of this cider.
And that only ended up costing me about 20 gold.
Yep. And he just kind of puts his hands on his hips and looks at his stockroom. And he's like, I've only got 1 barrel left now. All right, time to get brewing, I guess. Thanks for your business. Why do you need 4? Why didn't I ask that before? Why do you need 4? That's a lot. Are you opening a bar? What are you doing?
Not at all. A friend of mine is hosting a party, and I've been asked to bring the libations.
Ah, all right. Well, have a good time. Come back and tell me about the party sometime. Sounds like it'll be a one for the ages.
An eye-opening experience, to be sure.
Nice. Okay. You have your barrels.
I've got my barrels, I've got my cart, I've got my horse. I'm going to buy a couple of days of food, and that's only like a couple of silver.
Yeah, sorry, if you were waiting for confirmation. Correct. I would say like, where was it? Trail rations. Something like 2 silver per day, if that, or 2 copper per day. I don't remember. It's pretty low. I'd be willing to say your rations can be hand waved, so don't worry too much about that right now.
All right.
5 silver pieces for a day. Wow, it's more than I thought. It's 2 pounds. But how many days? You're going on horse with a cart, so
right. I'm still going to need about a week at least.
Yeah. So that would be at 5 silver each. 10-day. Sorry.
No, 10 days would be fine.
Yeah, 10 days should work. Rations, 1 day, so 5. This is 10 silver per gold, right? Not 100 silver per gold. It's not WoW.
Yeah.
Yeah, they changed. I can't remember.
5 more gold.
Name.
It was. I will still say it's hand wave for the rest of y'all because I already said that. So we'll say you earned enough just to cover your rations to Laris and all. It was considerably more than 23 silver, or 20 silver and 3 copper. But hey, that's fine. I don't mind. It's food.
We good.
Yeah. 5 silver pieces seems like a lot anyway, especially in this world's economy. Would be a little bit easier on buying food, I think. So yeah, you get loaded up, and do you leave immediately?
No, I'm gonna stay the night in the inn and write that letter to my brother.
Excellent. Oh, okay. Not a problem. You're able to get that sent out the next day as well. No issue.
And I'll leave in the morning then.
Okay.
I'll stay at the I'll stay at Karek's Inn, and I'll pay his going rate.
Okay. His going rate is for decent accommodations, if I remember correctly. See, yeah, for modest of just a gold a night.
All right.
And there's a nice little hot water bath that you can use in your room, that sort of thing. Comfortable enough bed, soft blankets. It's a good night's sleep.
And I admit I'm not Henry Cavill, but I will be using that bath.
Nobody to rub chamomile on your lovely bottom. So you set out the next morning. There are 8 merchant wagons leaving at the same time as you. It doesn't bottleneck too much because there's no paperwork to be done about, hey, we're leaving. It's just pretty much, hey, we're leaving. The guards take your name down, note that you're leaving, and at least as far as the merchants are concerned. So they stop you at the gate, and they just kind of look over your cart, see the barrels of ale, and go, going to a party? got any extra invites?
I'm afraid not.
Ah, the other kid looks like the other guard is very much like a teenage boy. He just looks very disappointed. Like,
a noble affair, gentlemen. I'm afraid both of us would be terribly underdressed for it.
Fancy highfalutin type. All right. Well, be safe out there. And they open the gate for you.
No promises.
So you travel for the first day. The merchant carts pull ahead of you because your horse is not not of the mindset to, like, they're not used to pulling this much weight. And while they're not struggling, they're being stubborn and not wanting to move as fast as you would like them to. But they're still moving at an appropriate pace. And the merchants apparently have some sort of schedule to keep. Go ahead.
Is this the same horse that I had last time?
By chance, no.
Okay.
There's quite a few in that livery there. So this time your horse was actually being given a good rest because it just did a pretty good hard run over a few days. So it's being given a resting period. This one is one of the like chestnut and white big splotches. I don't know what breed that is, but that's what it looks like.
Okay.
Its tail's braided.
I'm going to do an animal handling roll in order to get her to be a little more cooperative.
Yeah, let's have it.
That's a 22.
Oh shit! Yeah, very nice. Yeah,
I'm good with horses. I'm terrible with druids.
You pull the cart aside and you get down and you just pull a carrot out of your rations and you walk up to the horse and you pet its nose and you're like, "Will you please work with me here? I'm trying to get somewhere on time." And the horse, like, you could see it processing what you're saying to it. It looks at you, looks down at the carrot, looks at you, and then it just takes the carrot from you and starts munching. And as soon as you climb back into your seat, and it moves at a more reasonable pace for you. But thankfully, the merchants have pulled ahead by a good clip, so you're staring at the back end of one, but they're probably 200, 300 feet ahead of you by this point.
Well, at least I'm probably not going to get robbed.
Day 2.
Damn it.
Actually, we'll do your first camping thing for the evening. How do you want to camp by your lonesome?
Oh, boy.
Push through the night awake and camp during the day. It's always an option.
No, I'll go ahead and start a fire and... ask the horse to watch my back.
It's around the time that you're setting up camp that the guards that Ophio and Bliss and Arlene had passed earlier actually are passing you. They're about 4 hours away, or they're... I have to think about how they did this. They would have bounced against Saren's Gate, and they're passing you as they're heading back out again. And because of that timing, they will actually sit and make camp with you for the night. One of them is an elf and offers to take first watch.
Excellent. You know what? I'm going to take the opportunity to pump them for information maybe about this incubus that's running around, or if there's any other strange dealings.
Okay, sure. So you settle in around the campfire, and they'll pull out like a couple of rabbits that they'd freshly hunted on their way here. Get a good brace of conies going over the fire, and they tell you that it's been pretty quiet out here in the woods. They dealt with one or two caravans that complained of some beast off the road attacking them, but it was always too slow to do any real damage. Described it as just this big hulking stinking thing, slimy and tentacles. You don't know that you've ever seen one, but by their descriptions it kind of sounds like they're talking about like these drawings of Otugias that you've seen before. They're these weird tripedal things that eat garbage and lurk in old ruins. And they say it's a little strange that if that's what it is, that this thing is wandering
all
around
the way
in
out
the
here,
open.
yeah.
Yeah. But at least until we find it, we're kind of stuck. But no, our main patrol is just up and down this road to the crossroads and back. And we're on this for the next... They look at each other, calculating. Year and a half, I think? Yeah.
How many are these guys? It was 6, you said, right?
No, 2. There's 2 of them.
Just two guys.
A pair. Yep.
Okay.
Both of them are in the heraldry of Larasindal, and just very fine chainmail, and both are carrying a round shield and a long spear.
Well, I'm quite glad to have you with me at this time of night. I dread to think what might be out in the woods, just looking for a lone knight.
They kind of chuckle and they say, "Well, that's why we do this. It's our jobs. We watch the main roads here, and we've got let's see, along this main thoroughfare going up to Kalsanal, which is the city straight through to the northeast on the other side of the woods. There's 4 pairs, and from the crossroads to Larasindal, there's 8 pairs that just do the trek back and forth. And we're here to meet with merchants or adventurers or just travelers in general to find them and help protect you. It's not every night we sit down and camp with somebody, but that's why we're here. The woods are indeed massive and wild, and let's see, what's the craziest thing you've ever seen? The first elf thinks. Where's my monster manual? Let's give us a good old random page turn here. It says, I saw a couple of imps scampering around one night. And the first one's like, abyssals, really? How come you haven't told me about this? We've been doing this a couple months now. They're just imps, You take a pot shot with a single crossbow bolt. They do both have crossbows as well. Single crossbow bolt and they're dead. Like, they're not that much of a worry. But that's probably the weirdest things I've seen. Most of the time, you're just dealing with things like dire wolves, the occasional band of goblins. As long as you stick to the roads, it's pretty safe. You going by yourself though. I know you're a knight, and all, no offense, sir, but it's a little risky, don't you think?
Yeah, it is.
Because, tomorrow, you'll outpace us, horse and cart.
Hopefully by then I'll be pretty close to where I need to go.
So where is it you're going? Time for them to start drilling you.
There's an old ruin deep in the forest, a little ways away from here. I've been told to grab a couple of kegs of ale and meet up with a few friends for a party.
Kind of look at each other and back at you, and they both do the eyebrows up, and they're like, whew, that's some thrill-seeking I wouldn't do. Holy shit. You just...
Adventurers, you know how it is.
they both do the like slow blink and shaking their heads. They're like, I mean, I guess. Like, I don't know. Those ruins weird me out. The other elf just nods. Doesn't say anything, but nods.
Well, that was the basic premise of the party. Get drunk and see if we can last the night in the weirdest ruins we can find in the area.
Oof. You're crazy. So did you have anything specific you wanted to press them for?
Not really.
They buy that line, hook, line, and sinker.
Oh, good. No, I don't really have anything else I want to press them for.
Okay. Since you have them keeping watch for you, the rest of your night passes uneventfully. Back to Bliss, Ophio, and Arlene. You wake up in the morning. There is just kind of a thin fog hanging around, stirring about your ankles as you get up and wake up for the morning. But your last night passed uneventfully. Your first day passed uneventfully, aside from examining a stinky pond momentarily. And in the distance to the southwest, you can just barely make out the creaking sound of a cart and 2 horses pulling it. It's around the bend of this path, quite a ways away, but in the still of the forest and with the shape of this kind of tunnel of trees that you've got around you, the sound seems to carry very loudly.
Well, we're all kind of strange looking, so we're pull over
Accurate.
to one side a little bit.
Yeah, I
See
mean,
if they'll
let's
pass
get
by.
off the road.
Sure. Yeah, it's probably another 20 minutes or so before they're actually passing you. They come into view about 10 minutes later. About 10 minutes later, still, they're passing you now, and it's this kind of slow-moving caravan, and it's it was once a brightly painted wagon. It had bright purple paint along the sides that has long since chipped and flaked in many places. And the man driving the carriage looks very, very tired. He just has these old circular spectacles on that are crooked on the end of his nose, and he's balding a little bit. His gray hair is just kind of a shock behind his head. And he looks very sleepy sitting on the bench of this wagon as it kind of rocks back and forth. And he looks at all of you and waves a gloved hand, yawns, and just turns his face back toward the road and keeps trundling along.
Bliss is gonna sort of raise a hand and sort of call out, where the road ahead, if you see a pond, stay away from it.
That would be behind you at this point. Because that had happened.
Oh, they're coming up. Oh, they're coming up from behind us.
Yeah. This is
Oh,
like the first
wow.
of the merchants that left yesterday. It's
Well,
Bremen.
Retroactively.
Gotten through the nasty. Okay, never
Right.
mind.
Sorry.
Beware
did
any
and say
stinky
that.
ponds you find in the future.
Ophio's gonna be like, I'm not so sure he should be driving now.
He definitely looks sleepy, but he's keeping true. He didn't weave off the road or anything like that. And I misspoke. This wouldn't be the first of the merchants that from yesterday, because Bremen is leaving now as you're waking up. This would have been a merchant that left basically after you the day before, so several hours apparently. But he got an early start and is passing you up now. His wagon has a bunch of... I say a bunch. There's a lot fewer now because he's had to pack a lot of it away for travel. But it takes a moment to recognize which wagon this was, and it was basically a glasscutter's wagon. He had all of these just beautiful glass menagerie style carvings, and they're all just beautiful prisms of different shapes and sizes and colors that he would just have hanging all over from what looked like fishing line all over his cart. And so there's only a few that are hanging in places like on the corners of the cart, the larger ones that are more strongly secured and aren't going to break by hitting up against something while it moves. But you notice he's just, he sells trinkets apparently. Well, he'll pass if nobody stops him, and you have your rations for the morning.
I'm debating, but it's like none of my business.
Do you want him to stop?
Izin is watching the prism that's on the back right corner of this thing, like a hawk. Like his head came out, and he's just like, yeah.
Well, we're growing the same way. He looks like he needs a rest. If we offer him a hand, I don't know. It's not going to slow us down.
No. Let's offer our services then.
We'll wander in close. Say, you look like you need a little rest in the back there, sir.
I suppose something like that would be enjoyable, yes.
Are you open to the idea of us? I mean, we're going the same way. We can take over if you like. You can have a rest.
Oh, you mean like actually drive the cart for me? Ah.
Sure.
Whoa. Goodness, that's very kind of you. He just kind of like pulls the horses up and slows down to talk to you, and actually pulls them to a stop now as he's looking down at you. And he'll turn and look over his shoulder and over his round glasses at your companions as they bring up the rear and come up next to you. So where are you bound?
Lara Sindal.
Ah, they have no need of my mundane crafts up there, but I can take you as far as the crossroads if you'd like to ride along. There's plenty of extra space. It's just me.
Well, we have some rations to share, and it's better and safer to go in numbers. So, I'm not so experienced with driving these things.
I can drive them.
Funny that you offered without the experience, but
I know.
the kindness
just,
is.
You look so tired.
Well, I drove all night. I decided not to rest. There was odd smell on the side of the road. I decided to keep moving.
Yes. Yeah. Nasty.
Oh, you passed that too, eh?
Right.
But,
something not. What did you call it, General?
I'm sorry, I'm perplexing over something. Arlene, are you alright?
Ophile looks up at her, says, "Yeah, why?"
You've just been quiet.
Oh,
I'm
always
so
quiet.
The
Oh, yes, I
no-tongue
know,
thing kind of.
dear. You're
Arlene
not
actually
here.
says
Shut
I'm
up.
not.
Arlene actually
But you
says
can
that.
hear
says
my
that-
phantom
She says that
voice.
out. No. She says that out loud at Brennan, who's not. She knows he would say some shit.
She just sense it like he's running his mouth, isn't he?
Mhm. Yeah. And she turns back to this merchant. It's interesting that you travel the roads alone.
I've made the trip from Saren's Gate to Kalsonal multiple times. With the guards, it's usually not a problem. I usually end up camping with them at least half the nights, and the roads are so well protected. I've very rarely had problems. In fact, it's been since I was a young man since I've actually had problems, and that was with, something as simple as goblins. So, but you're not wrong. It isn't the wisest thing, but don't have. My daughter caught ill last year, and so she doesn't travel with me anymore. She stays with her mother at home.
Can I insight check him?
Sure.
Don't trust anybody.
I don't trust
Respect
it.
everyone.
Okay. Mm-mm-mm-mm. We won't know. What are you doing here, Rue?
Apparently I was muted. What was your insight? I was still waiting for the roll. Sorry.
16.
16? Okay. Yeah, he comes across genuine to you. You don't really get
My
a weird...
apologies. Let us travel together then. It's safer that way.
Well, again, your assistance is most welcome. My name is Richard Shale.
I'm Bliss, and this little guy here is Ism.
Oh, he's adorable. I have a prism that looks much like him. Matter of fact, yeah. He opens the door that's behind the bench into his cabin and just steps over the driving bench back into it. And he opens a couple of drawers and he comes back out with this little wooden box with some tissue paper in it and just hands it to you. He goes, "Here, for your assistance, for him." And when you open it, there's this little 7-pointed star-shaped prism that is the same color as your hair and is in scales.
Oh, pretty. That's very distracting.
Yeah, the way that the light sparks and bounces off of it is just, it's mesmerizing. It's not magical, it's mundane, but...
It's
It's
shiny,
magical
who
enough.
cares?
Mhm.
Your work is exquisite.
Oh, thank you, my dear. If you excuse me, I'm going to take that nap you so graciously offered me. The horses are oatmeal and flax. They should listen to you.
I'm just squeeing over here. Oatmeal and flax is adorable.
That's
so
really
good.
funny.
They're so good names.
He
Okay.
gives a small
Well-
nod and he'll go lay down.
Okay. I will drive the cart.
All right. Make an
And
animal
this
handling
is-
check with advantage because
This is
oatmeal
gonna
and
try
flax
and
are amazing.
learn.
Go ahead.
Oatmeal and flax. 16.
Okay. Bliss, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Bliss.
Sorry, I was blathering. Bliss wants to learn how to drive and
Okay.
handle carts and everything, just so that it's better to have more people who
Sure.
can take turns.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fire can teach her.
Awesome.
Nice.
All right, yeah, make an intelligence check.
Bliss
Yeah, sorry.
intelligence. Okay. 17.
Ooh, yeah. Yeah, you catch on to it pretty quick. Like, with that intelligence check, I feel like over the course of the next week or two, as long as you are consistently, because it take between a week to 2 weeks to get to the crossroads. As long as you're consistently sitting with Ophio while she's driving, it's you will say that when you get to the crossroads, you can add land vehicle proficiency to your proficiencies.
Nice.
Yeah, and I guess animal handling would be applicable there, but it would be just for land vehicles in this case. So
Yeah.
we'll call it that. But yeah, so you let me roll some percent die, see how this day goes for you. I'm gonna move some timelines along a little here now. That day goes uneventfully, and so does that night. So does the next day, and the next night. Sir Bremen.
Yo.
The guards wake you when they wake, and they let you know they're taking off. They wake early, like the sun it hasn't come up yet, and they're like, "Hey, we've got to go, but you should be fine from here on out." And indeed, you are.
Hey, thanks for your company, guys.
So you've got. I'm just gonna roll for them all. The day before you reach your ruins, you smell trash.
Oh, lovely.
And there's a fetid little pond about 30 feet off the side of the road that you can see. It's on the right-hand side this time. It's not the same pond. You're not going through time loop.
Wow, okay.
Wouldn't that be some shit?
Right?
Would.
You got so lost.
On a straight road.
Well, what am I gonna do with the smelly pond? I'm not gonna deal with that. I got shit I gotta do. I got noble shit. I'm not going anywhere near that
That's
as well
totally
dressed
fair.
as I am.
That's totally fair. Like, that's absolutely legit totally fair. I just was curious to see if Bremen, when faced with a stinky pond, if he would do anything similar. So, yeah.
I am
likewise.
dressed too good to do anything with a stinky pond.
You likewise avoid a thing that I guess we'll find out someday.
We'll never know.
We'll find out someday if that ever comes back into play. It might. It could very well might if nobody handles something. Anyway, so you are able to make it. You pull the horse and the cart off the road and you start trundling through the trees as best you can. And you're able to make it to the base of that big stone again where you found the secret entrance before.
All right. And that little cave is still there?
Yes. When you go looking for it, you indeed find it. It's just wide enough for these barrels to slide down.
All right. I'll try to get those offloaded as gently as I can and get them into the cave itself.
Okay. Make a perception check.
All right. That's a 10.
Okay. One moment. Continue your work. You get 2 of the barrels down. I want you to make another perception check. There's
All right.
a twig snap that draws your attention, and now you're looking for the source of it.
You know what? I'm going to go ahead and throw in my inspiration point on that one.
Okay, fair enough.
So that'll
Advantage.
give me advantage.
Absolutely.
Rollin', rollin', rollin'. That's a 17.
Ooh, very nice. Okay. You see, as you hear the twig snap, your head whips around and your eyes lock onto 2 glowing, yellow, malevolent eyes, probably 60 feet away from you, crouched at the tree line. As your eyes adjust in the evening out here in this clearing, You watch as velvet black furred lips curl back over white teeth, and 6 corded legs this thing stalks forward on, as 2 massive whipping tendrils extend from its back, covered in spikes on their tips. It looks like a panther with an extra set of legs. And it is.
Shit, where did I leave
stalking
my
toward
sword?
you. It's on your hip. Roll initiative.
Thank you. 9.
Ooh, okay. It will leap at you, taking its first turn, and it's going to attempt to hit you with 2 claws. Oh no, with 1 claw, I apologize. I'm going to assume that a 23 hits.
Yep.
Alright. You will take... God damn, max damage. 10 points of bludgeoning damage as this thing leaps at you and just barrels into you with all of its paws at once. And now it's your turn.
Alright, how close is it to me?
It is adjacent.
And how close is the hole?
We'll put you at 10 feet away from the hole. And you're down to 1 more barrel. And the horse.
Damn.
It's not even your fault this time.
You know what? I am going to try to relate to this thing monster to monster.
Ooh. Okay. How would you like to do that?
I'm going to try an intimidation check by trying to pull on whatever piece of that thing I've got in me. Whatever bit of it I can wake up.
Make your intimidation check with advantage.
All right. Nat 20.
Make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh, shit. $20 again.
God damn!
I know, Jesus Christ!
2 natural 20s in a row? Holy shit!
I mean, I threw it, it bounced off the side, and it landed, and I'm like, no way.
Alright. Okay, so, here's what happens. You, without really even thinking, you just round on this, we'll call it what it is. We all at the table know. You round on the displacer beast and growl at it, but the growl that comes out of you is so much deeper and more resonant than anything you should be able to produce. And just the sound of it alone is enough to kind of snap you back to that moment when the one bit you. It's like you can hear his voice coming out of you. And this thing immediately buckles and backs away. Like, it does the funny... You've seen cats back up really fast, and it's funny. And now imagine it with an extra set of legs. This thing is just like... And it is gone. Disappears into the tree line, and it's gone. And you hear as every single bird that was in the trees around you takes off all at the same time. And your horse bolts.
Yeah, that was
cart
going to happen.
With it. However, your natural 20 wisdom saving throw pulled you back from that moment immediately. And you look down at your hands as the black fur recedes from your arms.
And how many of those barrels did I get off?
3. The last one fell off as the cart turned sideways. The yoke snapped, cart's laying there. The horse is just gone. It took off after the displacer beast, same direction. Like, it was just running away from you.
Well, getting back my rental's not gonna happen. I am very, very glad all of a sudden that I was the only one to see that.
Oh, you aren't the only one, little puppy. And that's where we're going to stop for tonight.
Oh, I nearly
I
shit
can't
myself.
believe that roll.
That was
My
awesome.
word.
Oh, what? That was a beautiful second natural 20. I'm so glad that you did, because that would have gotten real messy real fast.
It really could have.
Woo! That was fun. That got real tense real quick. Okay. I think that will do
Are
it.
we still transmitting?
Yes, we are still live. So before we end, real quick, does anybody have any announcements they'd like to make?
Not tonight.
Nah, just maybe donate to keeping Australia not on fire in
Yeah,
any way you wish. Please
if you can,
help.
if there's any way that you can help Australia, there's lots and lots of. I don't have links right now on me, and that's kind of irresponsible on my part, seeing as I have an
That's
Australian
right.
player in my campaign.
Red Cross is great.
Okay, Red Cross. Then, if you can donate, there's lots of Australian fire relief funds. They need our help, so please do that. And of course, if you want to support the show, patreon.com/theramlingbard. But that's not as important. Australia's more important right now. Other than that, the only other announcement I've got is I'll be releasing episode 1 of the new format of the Rambling Bard show tomorrow. Wait, not tomorrow, sorry. The 31st, so Friday. Probably around noon Central Standard Time, but somewhere in there. But it'll be around an hour or so long, and it's the new format for my show that I'm going to be doing 1 episode a month, so keep an eye out for that. It'll be lots of fun. And last but not least, adventurers, remember, life is a series of choices between fear and love. Choose love, everybody, and we'll see you next time.